In this video, we'll discuss the key reasons on why you should get a face reading and why it can bring value to your life. Enjoy.
Good morning. So it occurred to me, I should make a video on why you should get a face reading. So people are engaging with the channel, people are enjoying my content, I can tell. People are asking lots of questions, which I love to see. I've always wanted face reading to be taken seriously, as did my late teacher, Lillian Bridges. So that said, why should you get a face reading? It can be summed up in three primary parts: aptitudes, health, and destiny. First and foremost, aptitudes. We all have them. We all have inherent strengths, talents, and aptitudes that we should be leaning into. We have to remember that face reading is one of the branches of Chinese medicine, Eastern philosophy. Arguably, some argue that it's the original branch. It's what started it all, because we all read faces from the day we are born till the day we die. We're looking at people's faces and trying to assess our humanity by looking at other people and looking at ourselves. So, first things first, aptitudes. Why is that important? Why should you be able to identify what you're good at? Basic idea is this. The idea of Jing, constitutional strength, what we call genetics or genes in the West. These are things that have been passed down to us. And the thinking is, that comes out of Eastern philosophy, is that these aptitudes and strengths are meant to be wielded, a lot like a superpower. It would be like Superman sitting in a basement playing video games all day, every day, when he's sitting on something that can genuinely help the world. So first and foremost, you have to realize whatever you have to contribute to this world is helpful. There are people that are going to benefit from your presence. So you have to identify your aptitudes. When you identify your aptitudes, this also brings some grace and some ease and some peace into your life. Because when we lean into the things that come naturally to us, it makes us feel good. And there's lots of science around the physiology of emotional health and feeling good in our bodies and in our minds. So think of it like this. If I strap a harness to a Clydesdale horse and I have that horse pull something very heavy over a long distance, that horse is going to find some ease in that. It's going to find some peace by using its body and doing the very thing it was built for. Sure, it'll get tired, but it's not going to be taxed. Now, if I strap a harness to a golden eagle and I instruct or guide that eagle to do the same thing, that eagle is going to become injured. It's going to become unwell, likely break some bones in the process. And its life expectancy is going to be shortened because it's doing something it's not built for. People are no different. We have aptitudes and strengths. And by identifying them, it brings some ease into life, because if you haven't noticed, the world's kind of a crazy place right now. It's difficult out there. We need to find some ease. And yes, we also need things that are very difficult for us. So face reading is not about just saying, do the things that are easy and ignore the difficult things. We absolutely need the difficult things. But we also need the easy things too, the things that come naturally to us. Excuse me. So, health, number two. There are health markers that show up on the face. We can see health manifesting or not manifesting or declining on the face. When people get jaundice, they turn yellow. When people are tired, they get dark under the eyes. When people are blood deficient, they get pale. We need to be healthy because in the East, health and our aptitudes and our talents are two sides of the same coin. The thinking is, if you are not healthy, you can't access your gifts. If you're on your deathbed or you're dying prematurely or early, the very things you were built to do, you no longer can contribute. So the thinking is, you have to be healthy. And the healthier you are, the more access you have to your gifts and the greater impact you can have on your life and other people's lives. The world is made better, essentially, by you being healthy because you have access to your gifts. Now, the last part is destiny. Now, that word is charged. There's a lot of people who are going to roll their eyes and be like, oh, here we go. It was cool, Gray, until you started talking about destiny and all the new age stuff. Don't think of it like that. Think of it that the eagle is supposed to be flying high in the sky. It should be surveilling things from high above. It should be conserving energy, riding those air currents and waiting for opportunistic prey that it swoops down and gracefully captures. The Clydesdale should be pulling heavy things or working hard and focusing on endurance. And by doing that, you're fulfilling your destiny. So really what destiny is in the East is fulfilling the very things and contributing your gifts naturally into the world. I can't stress how important that is, because if we don't do that, the larger metrics of feeling good about ourselves are greatly diminished. We find a lot of our peace and a lot of our strength by doing the things that come naturally to us. And again, it's about yin and yang. You need both, hard and easy, fire and water, birth and death, man and woman. We need both. So face reading can give you this. It can give you an access point, because I can tell you from working with people, there are so many times I will read a person's face and say, hey, do you have an interest in these things? Do you have an interest in A, B, C, and D, and are you fulfilling that? And they'll say, no, but I've always wanted to, and I haven't. And I always tell them, this is kind of the last piece about face reading. It's interesting. If you don't, dog's having fun. If you don't, there's a penalty for that. So my late teacher, Lillian Bridges, used to talk to me about that. She used to say, Gray, we hear about overuse of our jing, our constitutional strength. Overuse will definitely make you sick. She says, but the pitfall is, the shadow of that is, not using your gifts will also make you sick. If you don't use your gifts, there's a penalty for that. Absolutely. If Beethoven hadn't pursued music, there would have been a penalty in his health. Same goes for Da Vinci. Da Vinci hadn't pursued that art, there would have been a penalty, mentally, physically, or spiritually. So you don't want to sit on your gifts and not use them. That's not the way to do it. You have to use your gifts. And everyone's got some. And don't attach big or small energetics to it. Don't say, well, the gift I have is small. Like, oh, I have just an analytical mind. I'm not a writer. I'm not a sculptor, or whatever. That's not the way to think about it. Everyone has something to contribute. Everybody. Don't forget that. So face reading can give you these things. And it's a good way to find some grace, some ease, and have your life path unfold a bit easier. I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty good to me, and part of why I teach face reading, I pursue it, and I help people down that road. All right, y'all. Take care.